Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Welcome.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're broadcasting from the only place in Decatur where you can make anything from a birdhouse to a photon beam flux capacitor thing. It's the Decatur Makers Hour.
Warm welcome, makers. It's the Decatur Makers Podcast. It's Maureen Haley.
It's Shar Miller-King.
It's Kevin Arna.
So what projects are you guys working on? Anything good going on?
Yeah, something very interesting. I think I've sort of been adopted as a resident set builder at my older kids' school.
Builder.
I know. For their plays, I've been asked to build a torture rack.
Oh, fun.
A medieval torture rack, yes. They are doing the Addams Family play, and I guess there's a scene in the play where Pugsley is strung up on this torture rack. So all I have is a sort of a vague picture that was sent to me, and I've been just drawing things on little pieces of paper, and I spent 2 hours at Home Depot yesterday buying things to rig. And the good thing about building things for sets is sometimes they don't actually have to be functional. Right. They just have to look good on stage. So I'm incorporating things that I usually don't work with, like PVC. So I'll let you guys know how it turns out. I have to finish it by tomorrow. So we shall see.
Deadline.
More making and theater combinations.
Yeah, I know. I see a running theme here.
That's right. What are you working on, Kevin? Anything?
Well, I've been obsessed with this idea for a while of replacing all my furniture with a combination of welded steel and cherry furniture. So I just went out to a lumber yard. By the way, Saturday mornings are like the best times to go to lumber yards.
Really? I would have thought the opposite.
Well, many of them are closed on Saturday mornings, and that would make them not a good time to go.
Right.
So check your hours. But none of the contractors are there, so you don't feel like you're just like a small fish. Like it's usually really quiet, and if you're not sure what you're doing, then it's a great time to go by and ask questions. So picked up a bunch of cherry, about 22 board feet of cherry. And I think I'm actually going to go weld a little stand for my small 3D printer, and then put little cherry inlays for the actual shelves. So I'm excited about that. That's what I'm going to do, like, as soon as I get off the podcast. I'm going to go weld.
Welding. Cool.
What about you, Maureen? Are you making anything?
What I'm making this weekend are, I'm working with the Girls Who Code Club, and we're going to be assembling or making this auto DIY robots. We have one for each of them. That's OTTO, and it's OTTODIY.com, and it's an open source little two-legged, walking robot, and it has an ultrasound sensor, and it's programmed with Arduino, and it has 4 servos. And today I need to work out the Bluetooth, because there's actually a Bluetooth app so you can control the little robot from your phone. So we're going to put together our robots, and then it's true, a Girls Who Code club. So there's a couple ways you can code it. They have a block code, their own block code development environment. They have a block code built on the Arduino environment, or you can just use the Arduino. So that's what I'm working on. That'll be fun. I need to do some prep work today. I need to get some batteries, and I need to do some connections between the battery holder and the power for the board. So some
now
prep work.
Is that soldering, or are they just screw terminals, or?
The terminals are, they use the female DuPont connector wires, with the little black connectors.
Oh, yeah,
the terminals, the Arduino, I use an Arduino Nano that sits on an I/O board. The I/O board has a bunch of, the male connectors on them. And so all the components then plug in. But there's the battery pack does not have any connectors on the ends of the wire. So I think we just need to make that plug and play as much. I mean, they could solder them, but then I don't think we'll really get... I mean, soldering is fun. That would be a nice project, but I don't think we'll get the robots done if we spend our time soldering. So,
Does soldering take a long time?
It does not, but we haven't done soldering, so there's a certain amount of instruction. There's a certain amount of... I mean, I think that's its own we only have an hour and a half, so it depends. I don't know that we would get the soldering done and the robots assembled in one session. So
yeah, that's a lot for one session.
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna get the robots assembled and the Bluetooth working in one session, but we'll give it a try. So.
And is the Bluetooth a part of the I/O board? Or how's that connecting?
The Bluetooth uses a separate board, but it does plug into the I/O board. And they have the auto people. Here's the thing. They had a big conference, and they went to a big conference in Madrid last week. And the American distributor for their kits were through Amazon is sold out. So I got some kits. You can compile a component yourself, and that's how we did one. We did one over at the space where we just gathered the components and 3D printed the little container, the robot parts. But I ordered the kit because I know, I'm just limited on bandwidth, and we can do it all. So anyway, the kit with the Bluetooth I could not obtain it, so I had to order the Bluetooth board separately. We'll see. The forums say that any, a Bluetooth board with these specs should work, but we'll see. We'll see if the ones I ordered will work. So.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed at your level of knowledge with microcontrollers. I'm like, what is happening right now? I have no clue. I still have my stuff in the box. I have not picked it up in 2 months to finish my first project.
That knowledge comes from just following someone else's tutorial, and then it doesn't work, and then having to troubleshoot it, and then having troubleshoot it. My knowledge consists of a lot of ways it doesn't work, and then one way that's why I was successful.
The one suggestion I would make is that always just copy exactly what they have first. Don't even try to tweak it to anything first. Like, just copy just to make sure that you didn't mess anything up there. It saves a lot of headaches.
Yeah. That's why I ordered the kit, because I kind of want... I will sacrifice a little... I'm not a good teacher in that way. I will sacrifice a little bit of exploration to get a win.
Yeah.
Because I think that's satisfying. It's a kit. You put it together. The idea is to practice coding it.
Right.
So spend too much time working on why this solder doesn't work,
Maybe by the next podcast, I'll have a report, and then I can really talk shop with you guys about it.
Yeah? About update on the workbench, or
about an Arduino hardware project, yeah.
Oh, on your Arduino project. And the rack. Maybe you have stretched someone on the torture rack by then.
Oh, yes. I should have programmed it so that it raises and lowers by itself.
That would be cool.
It would have been cool, except it probably wouldn't have worked, and the person would have just spun out of control.
Well, in that sense, it would actually work. Just not what you were going for.
Right. It is a child, so I have to be cognizant.
They're very stretchy. What else is going on? Anything going on at the space?
Table saw's down. But
nah, that's not good.
That'll be fixed in a day or two.
Last weekend, I went over to the Pinewood Derby Chop Shop, and did you go over to that? That was amazing what they had. Preston Ladd had set up a lot of that.
Yeah, I helped only a tiny amount. I lent out 2 of my tools so that they could have more tools available.
Wow, they had because of for Scouts, the Pinewood Derby car comes a block in a box, and then they had set up they had a couple of sanders, a drill press. What's that saw with the blade that goes up and down?
The bandsaw?
Bandsaw.
Although it mostly goes down.
Yeah, they had a bandsaw. They had all kinds of hand tools. Then Preston had a little sample track so you could check the weight of your... You know how they put pennies on to weigh it differently? And you could take weight out by drilling with the drill. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness, it's like a little, United Auto Workers up here churning out Pinewood Derbies. And then upstairs they had a design shop, and they had some patterns where you could shape it, and they had the wheel. They had a wheel station where you put your wheels on, and then they had some weights, and they had a hot glue station where you could. I mean, I was like, it was so cool. What a neat. I just remember my brothers making their Pinewood Derbies in their room, with a penknife, trying to shave off, make it not square. But that was really cool. That's a very cool event, I guess. So
yeah,
sounds cool.
Yeah,
I saw that we replaced at the Makerspace the benchtop drill press with the floor stand model.
Mm-hmm.
So what prompted that?
Well, we had 2 drill presses in the wood shop and not a whole lot of floor space, so we decided it might make sense to just have 1 drill press. And if we gotta just have 1, it might as well be the one that's got the most travel, the most capacity. We moved the other one over to the metal machining area, the benchtop one. Cut a big old hole in the bench to put the floor sanding one in.
I saw that. The one thing that I didn't do before class on Thursday was change the spindle speed.
And that's harder on this one.
Mm-hmm. Why is it going so slowly? And I look and say, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come earlier and change it before class next time.
Well, and we kind of expect that it won't get changed as much because we now have a separate one for metal outside. And usually it's when you're switching to metal that you would want to slow it down a whole lot.
Right.
So if it's only being used on wood, it'll probably stay pretty fast unless somebody's using a really large bit.
So you had to cut out part of the workbench space to put the floor standing one in?
Yeah, we actually we did that on cleanup day, and Dina Spencer and Randall Bollig actually handle that. And I said, all I care about is that this part is gone. You can do this however you want. And they did a good job. They did a really good job.
Nice.
So we have a little more floor space in the wood shop.
And they're looking for so they're just going to maybe hire someone to do some classes coordinating. That'll be exciting. I haven't seen the job description yet, but that should be helpful.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be just classes, but I think it's also going to be a lot of the outreach and working with schools in the area to be kind of a center of maker education in the area. I don't know a whole lot more than that.
I can share a little bit more about it if you guys have time.
Yeah,
sure. Minute. So Maker Ed is an organization based in Berkeley, and they help schools to grow their STEM and STEAM programs. And they work in conjunction with the Children's Museum of Philadelphia. And each year they choose, I think, 5 cohorts, which are comprised of maker spaces and organizations, to do a 2-day session up at their space in Berkeley. So and I are actually going up there this week for 2 days to learn how we can bring STEM back to Decatur and Atlanta. And subsequently, the person that we ultimately hire will be the one that's responsible for going out to the schools and sharing what we learned while we were at their headquarters. So we do have a list of schools already that have reached out to us that are interested in partnering with us to grow these programs. So if anybody out there is listening and they want to support this initiative, please definitely get in touch with us at Decatur Makers, because we need all of the support and funding that we can get to help grow these programs and get somebody really strong in the position to get Decatur Makers not only on just a local level here, but we're starting to get more than regional exposure, because there's such a small group of people that have the opportunity to get this specialized training and detailed information that we can share.
Oh, cool. Ooh, I love the up and coming activity. Yeah, so if anyone's out there listening and you're involved in teaching STEM, science, technology, E, and M.
I think it's engineering and mathematics.
That's right.
They're all on different levels of conception. It's a weird acronym.
I like that concept of reaching out beyond the region, though, because we talked, one of our previous podcasts about how the maker community is all about collaboration, and you can learn what you can learn alone, but you can learn, you get so much more from a community, and if we're exposed to a larger global or at least national group, there's a lot more interchange available. So are we good? We'll sign off. You guys want to say some goodbyes? I always say, get out there, makers, and make it good.
Guys, we're still recording. Shh.
See ya.
How should I say bye, girls?
I don't know.
Until the next time, go make something.